So today we're going to play Carno on a server called Jurassic Echoes. It's a semi-realism server that only got like a very few rules and the rest is just fair play and common sense. Carnivores can't mix back with any other species. Herbivores can form big herds, and omnivores count as herbivores. They can also defend each other, so Dibble, Teno, Durio, they can all fight together. There is no cost. The only kill what you need as a carnivore is kind of the rule here, like do not kill everything on sight, do not end an entire group of herbivores just because you can. And the herbivores and omnivores are not allowed to attack everything they see on sight either. They can threaten you if they feel like you're not respecting their space or something like that. They can even defend themselves, but basically it's only when they're getting hunted or attacked that they can fight. I'm hearing footsteps, aren't I? And well, basically what makes this server... Oh god. The first thing I was going to explain. Are those carnos or those dillos? If they are dillos, I'm done. Oh, carnos, thank god. Now the problem is I don't trust anyone, even here. I just said, yeah, players are fair play, I know, but I'm kind of a suspicious person. Are they friendly? Oh, thank god. So, the reason why I was so frightened hearing those footsteps is kind of the fourth rule on this server, which makes this server absolutely amazing to me. There are no group limits. So that means, well, they have what you call megapacks. You can see like 15 Omnis, 9 Dillos, 8 Siras running around, but it kind of evens itself out since the herbivores are in very big herds, and then all of the other carnivores also mostly play in very big groups. So the reason I was being frightened right now from hearing footsteps was because I'm alone. You can also just play with your group limits if you want to. That's not a problem. Like, I do enjoy, I find it fun to like hunt the other groups of generally Siras with a lot of Carnos, because the groups of Siras, they're not like 4 Siras, they're generally like 8 or 9 of them. But it'd be so great if we could just like hunt the 3 of us and then stay away from the megapacks. That's another thing. Oh, he wanted a nest. Well, that's not gonna happen, buddy. Isn't the... Oh, he's a little one. Yeah, we're not gonna be able... I think the little one is a male, so... Now, the rules are a little more detailed on the Discord, and don't be afraid, it's really literally a picture with 2 or 3 lines on it, so... It's really easy and really nice, and just use common sense and fair play, and they'll welcome you all with open arms. I'll put the link beneath the video if you'd like to join the server. And oh, by the way, they have a storage system. Like, I'm not even using it, but I saw they had one. Well, now I feel like I'm doing a commercial. Lol. But I mean, it's... You know, when there are nice servers, I think that people should really like mention them more often. Like, I feel like it's always the same servers that are being put forward. I'm thinking that we're going to do a lot of noise trying to talk into the local chat. I'm just going to check on the Discord if the people I'm playing with right now are in the voice channels. So you probably already noticed the announcements are mostly German. So this is kind of a German Discord and server, but they speak English, and you're supposed to speak English or German in the global chat, so they also make an effort when you go in the voice channels, so that's not much of a problem. And I see that the 2 players I'm with are in a voice channel, so I think I'm going to join them. Just so we don't make too much noise when we're trying to talk to each other in the local chat. I'm all for survival. It's always nice to meet new people as well. And I'm generally always very happy to join people in VOC. In VC, I think they say in English. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do the rest of this video with voiceover while editing. So we went to West Trail, but we were there for about like 20 minutes and no one else showed up. So we decided to go to South Plains, where we were hearing a lot of carnos, a lot of sierras. We wanted to eat something before getting there because, you know, if you fight with sierras, it's a good thing not to have an empty stomach. And then we saw this little sierra. Poor thing probably crossed the entire South Plains, hoping not to be spotted, and then we find him. No, this is a smart move on his part, trying to make sure we hit each other and trying to play with the trees, because carnos and trees just don't go together. So we had to eat, and once we were done eating, we could go to South Plain to see what was around there. But then when we arrived at South Plain, we saw a lot of carnos, and the only thing left to do was to go and drink before coming back. Because you do not drink at South Plain, of course, that's just not a good idea. Especially since we saw like 3 or 4 crocs sitting just outside of the water, so I typically want to try and drink a bit further up the river. You do sometimes get grabbed when you do that, because sometimes a croc knows people do this. But in this case, considering we saw 4 of them outside and they might have nested, we were like, nope, let's go drink to southbound. Now, while we were there, we heard a dillo. Now, at first I thought the dillo was aware that we were there as well, because he stopped making noise. One of us even thought he saw him run off to the beach. And so we went to the beach to see, of course, if that dillo was somewhere in sight. And since he wasn't, we decided to leave again. So I guess he really didn't know we were there. Or he got too confident. Because suddenly we knew. Now I don't know if this dillo planned this, but walking out of the trees when you have carnos behind you is not a smart idea. And then I almost dropped here. And I was certain he was gonna be dead. And one of our team members missed the whole stopping part and just fell down as well, but he was barely in orange, so he survived. We did not get that dillo, we couldn't find it anymore, and our team member had to rest for a while. And then we went back to South Plain, where there were a lot of carnos just sticking around. There were a lot of dibbles and stegos as well. Now, I must say I was a bit disappointed that nobody was like trying to hunt the dibble. But they were making friendly calls, and as you can see, a dibble literally walked into a carno. So this is not mixed packing, just for anyone watching and thinking this. This is just a semi-realism server. You might have already seen some people having personalized skins, so it's not everyone on the server, just a few people have it. And some people make personalized skins that look quite natural, and then you have people who make those skins. I mean, I have no idea how they survive from the moment they spawn to now as adults. Like, the black one with the blue is still okay, but the really cyan ones, I have no idea how they're not spotted from a mile away. So we were just hanging around South Plain when I scented sticks or branches, which means the crocs were nesting. Now, when it comes to crocs, I stay far away from them, but one of us was going. Then I had a heart attack when I saw what he was doing. You will not catch me dead or alive going into the water. And I don't just mean here. Like, obviously you know there's crocs here, like even drinking is a risk at this point or even further away. But swimming? Not happening. When it comes down to it, not a single one of my dinos can swim. The only one I dare to cross this river with is a gali, because there are places in this river where if you jump just at the right time, you will not even touch the water on the other side. So gali it is. All the rest, nope, no way, not happening. And when I play with people that are very cautious like me, we don't even go on the waterfalls, we do the tour of the salt lake. As you can see, Mommy or Daddy Dano was not too happy about us walking to their nest, so nothing to do here, we left. Back at Rest Trail, funny thing is, I saw a little Syrah eating. My team members were telling me, oh, there's a Syrah here. I was not aware they were already fighting. It's only when this one joined in that I started running towards them. So we are hungry and they're quite small, they didn't stand a chance, quite honestly. A+ effort for staying around and trying to fight us. But they're small, that means that their buff are going to die, so we can eat. Because one tiny Syrah like that will not feed 2 ground carnos and 1 almost full ground carno. Again with the hit on one of my own team members. It wouldn't be a fight or a hunt if I'm not hitting one of us. We had a good meal, and that was all that mattered. Now my experience with Thanos isn't that great, but I have mained Thanos. I was wondering what my team member was doing, but it turns out the battery of his mouse had died, so we had to wait for him to put back new battery. And while we were enjoying the side special skins again, I began to worry that if they saw he was AFK, they might come and fight us or try and hurt him. Now, again, this is a very fair play server, so that did not happen, but I am a suspicious person by nature. I don't trust anyone or anything on the Isle. When it comes down to it, on official servers, you can't even trust your own group members. So, yeah. I was trying to hide with my body the fact that his head was pointing towards the sky. Now, when it comes to personalized skins, the white one is quite great. I mean, you've got albinos in the animal kingdom. Also, later on, I friendly called him to get really close because he had like the cutest black nose. That was just adorable. So we had to wait for our friends to get some batteries back. And once that was done, we could just enjoy, stay around Westrail a little more, waiting for people to show up. And we saw a Syrah. Almost hit my team member again. Now, we were not particularly hungry, but our meal still had to grow. He wasn't at 100% yet, so we wanted organs to get him there faster. And this little Syrah would do. So here we are, looking for it. Then we see it right back there in the plain. And then the other carno tells me there's two of them here. So obviously, we go and help. Now this was entirely our mistake. Fighting in the forest is a big no with a carno, and yet here we are trying. I was quite honestly so concentrated on the trees that I did not watch my stamp at all. And as you can see, up to a point, the trees were not that much of an issue, and then they became an issue. And I just couldn't do 5 steps without blocking myself into a tree. But it's actually not that much the big trees that are a problem, but all these small trees where you literally stay stuck into. Now at this point we're sure we can kill one. And then we hear our third team member say, there is a lot of them and this is what we run into. So I toured around the 2 Syrahs just to get this one off my team member's tail. We were agreeing in voice channel that we needed to leave because all 3 of us were out of stamina, so this is me running for my life. And I do not look behind me when I do this. So when I suddenly did turn around, I realized my team members hadn't followed me. And yes, the plan was to actually run. I don't know what the delay really was about, but it cost us 1 carno, sadly. It was the female at least. We didn't lose the male. From the very start we were trying to keep him alive, so mission accomplished. So I heard footsteps. Footsteps of Syrahs who weren't really into the chase, I guess, because they were like coming near us, but not really to hunt us down. But still, I try to run and hide in a little bush because you make so much noise with the carno, it's absolutely horrible. We hadn't yet regained our full stam, but we were thirsty, especially the male carno. He got there first and he got to drink first, and then he went to chase AI but was found by Dillos. Now he was basically out of stem. I had only half my stem left. The Dillos, had there been more of them or had there been more adults, would have killed us, I think. But we were lucky, there was only like one full adult and the rest were kind of smaller. So as you can see, the other carno has no stem, so he can't even charge anymore. I stay stuck here. I did not stop my charge, it's just the ground. I hate the ground at West Axis. They're just pieces of it that are like badly made, and your carno is running and suddenly he stops. Now here my intention was not at all to kill the Dillo because we had already 2 dead. I just wanted to make sure he was hurt badly enough to not even try and come back to us. No. We needed stem. Echoes. We were literally like at 2% and about 37%. That wasn't good. And this is the hateful part. You can see nothing. Now, if at the very least there was no rain and like, I don't know, Cirrus are coming at you, you can hear them come. But when it's raining and you can't see anything, you can't hear the footsteps either. You're dead. So we were really praying those Cirrus did not come to West Rail. Luckily it didn't stay long. But in the distance I saw 2 little shadows. And I admit that now that I'm editing the video, I can see they were small, like barely above the grass. But in that moment, I was more focused on that thing coming from the water. He must have been honestly quite famished to come so far out of the water to get food. And considering how bad our stam was, we were not going to risk staying around. So normally when we're in danger we try to make a quick retreat. In this case it was a slow retreat and a quiet retreat. Because thinking those 2 Cirrus were adults or maybe even members of that big group at West Trail that had come to West Access, we couldn't afford to be hurt nor to be chased or hunted. Now, once we had gotten back our stam, we could go and hunt some AI. We saw Syrah and we thought the one that was up the hill was a bigger one, at least one adult. Not yet that hungry, but hungry enough that one of them would be a good deal. Now, obviously there's a small one. Here we're trying to be very discreet, thinking the adult is at the top of the hill and just waiting for us to get over that hill. Turns out, while we are approaching, that they heard us as well and decided to make a run for it. Which is quite honestly the only thing that you can do when you're this small, because they were two tiny little Zeras. And you can say whatever you want about Zero players, but they're quite loyal to each other. I mean, we would have let the other one go, but the other one came and tried to save his friend, so... A+ on effort once more. Look at that. Another problem arises when we see we are getting thirsty. Knowing that barely 20 minutes ago we saw that monster come out of the lake, we couldn't afford to just go drink. So we're using a tactic that I've been using for so long on official servers and even unofficials. A lot of people use it. It doesn't always work. It really depends on how willing the Dano is at being friendly. But the tactic is simple. You take a corpse, you bring it near the water, you wait for the Dano to come out of it to eat it, and then you go and drink. Now, while we were doing that, we heard Dillo. Not sure if it was an adult or a baby, but we had no desire to be attacked while it was dark. And as you can see, I'm not hungry, my team member isn't hungry either, so killing him makes no sense, so we just chased him away. Made a threat call. Just so he knows he just needs to leave us alone. Back to the mission at hand. Bringing food to the Dano so he gets out of the water and we can drink a little. Obviously this tactic will only work if there is only one Dano in the water. I've actually had it happen that one Dano went out of the water and we drank peacefully and we got snatched. That the chances of there being two Danos at West Axis are really low, so corpse tactic it is. As you can see, dragging that corpse is teamwork, because stamp just goes down when you're dragging something, and we shared the duties so that neither of us would end with too little stam. Oh, I worried for a second that I was getting too close to the water, but I guess he was a bit farther away. Now we just wait to see if he takes the bait. And I guess he's really hungry because there he is, already eating before we are even drinking. Now he's back into the water, and I don't know if this was his way of being friendly. He let us drink for a few more seconds before he decided, nope. Sorry guys, I'm a dino and you look very tasty. But it worked since we got a little water out of it. Now, we stayed at West Texas for a while, hoping for maybe Delos or other Cirrus to show up, despite the fact that the ground isn't always the best to run on with a carno. Now, this is one of those moments where you need to know when you need to leave. When you hear 1 Dilo, 2 Dilos, 3 Dilos, and you think some of them are still small, you can stay. When you start hearing a lot of Dilos and some of them start sounding like they're much bigger than 50% or 70%, you need to leave, because 2 carnos in the middle of the night with maybe 5 full-grown Dilos running around and all their little ones in the way as well, that doesn't bode well. So while editing, I realized the video was quite long. It was 6 hours of gameplay, a lot of running around from one place to the next, taking back our stam, healing from wounds. In the second part, we will even face off other carnos because of a horrible misunderstanding. So I will probably post the second part tomorrow because I myself hate waiting for videos or next parts, so I will not make you wait either. Hope you have fun on the isle, and this was on the server Jurassic Echoes. Links are below the video, the link to the Discord. And don't forget, if you buy the game The Isle on Steam, the first thing you will download is actually the Legacy branch. So to get the Evrima branch, you actually need to go to Properties and choose Evrima. Otherwise, you'll get a game that doesn't look like this at all. And this is me being silly and trying to make a strike. If anyone ever succeeded in killing 3 of them, like here, one of them was a bit farther away, but I've had once 5 boars like literally sitting around each other, and I never managed to kill more than 2 at the same time. So if anyone ever managed that, please let me know so I can try even harder next time.